Happy New Year. Well, gaming New Year that is. If you are a gamer, then you understand that yesterday was the Video Game Awards. And with the Video Game Awards comes the new year. Until the 12th of December 2024, we are currently in the next season of gaming. It was a show, I will tell you that much at least. And it was, holy smokes, so long, almost 4 hours. I'm not going to bore you with all the different things that happened, but we are going to talk about what happened and have a cup, a delicious, yummy cup. I'm going to go with this one. This is a Peru. I've been doing the Peru a lot lately. I actually have been enjoying it, so we're going to go with the Peru today. Thank you to all of you who came to the stream yesterday. I streamed the event, and there was a consistent, about 25, 30 people hanging out, and it was a good time. We had some good conversations. At the beginning of the stream, we had a super chat by, I forgot the name, I'm so sorry. He super chatted, and because he super chatted, he got to name the fake bear skin rug I have in this room. So that's now named Grizz. So we got Grizz. We got a bunch of stuff. We have Grizz. We have Henry over here. Larry behind me. Thomas, the TV over there. This room is coming alive, dude. The magical world of my room. It was what I expected it to be. Just a long award show with some reveals. Some cool reveals, but, not anything that I would say broke the internet. I know that last season or last year, there were a few trailers that kind of, I think, broke the internet. But, as usual, Nintendo's representation there was non-existent. There was nothing announced by Nintendo. We knew there would be nothing announced by Nintendo. Someone in the chat earlier on was like, hey, do you think there's going to be a new hardware release? And I said, no, there's no way, because we have a holiday. And that holiday is going to be heavily pushing out the new Nintendo, the older Nintendo hardware. Like, why would they cannibalize potential sales when they have a full holiday season to sell? Like, it's not going to happen. There's no way. So I didn't expect there to be any sort of holiday hardware release, and there certainly wasn't. Something that did shadow drop, though, last night, along with a couple other things. One was, if you were paying attention to what Nintendo was doing on their YouTube channel, they dropped 1080 Snowboarding, Harvest Moon 64, and Jet Force Gemini, all at the beginning of the Video Game Awards. I was like, dude, okay, cool. Nintendo's showing up in their own way. It was kind of cool to see. I was excited. I played 1080 Snowboarding for one race, and I just bombed it. But I was playing on the Pro Controller, so it wasn't possible. But I will say that the Video Game Awards from start to finish was solid. I mean, the best 7 I could have ever given. There was nothing disappointing. There was an Alan Wake live performance that apparently was from the game itself. I didn't know that the game had a full-blown musical performance. There was a brief moment where we saw Reggie in the audience. That was kind of exciting. And, there were a few games that were announced because that's what this is all about. It's about awards and announcements, the 2 A's in the gaming worlds. And so, Game of the Year. Let's just nail that, if you guys were wondering. Game of the Year is Baldur's Gate 3. I kind of expected it to be that. I certainly did not expect Game of the Year to go to Tatke, nor did I expect Game of the Year to go to Super Mario Wonder. And Super Mario Wonder doesn't deserve Game of the Year because I don't know why it was there. It was an interesting decision to be there. But I will say that my boy did win an award. Best Family Game. There it is. Best Family Game. There, that's that. And then, what did Tatke win? Best Action Adventure Game. Awesome. And then Final Fantasy 16 got Best Music, which was cool. So there you go. I looked it up for you. Don't say I never did nothing. So they all three got awards. Would I have liked Final Fantasy 16 to get Best RPG? Sure, but of course it was going to Baldur's Gate. Would I have liked Top K to go Game of the Year? Sure, but of course it went to Baldur's Gate. Announcements. A couple things that really stood out to me. Early on, we had an announcement for free DLC that's live right now for people who are not Ragnarok. Was it Ragnarok? Yeah, Ragnarok owners. God of War Ragnarok. It's called Valhalla. It's basically a roguelite. Looks amazing. So cool. And so that was rad. I still have yet to play Ragnarok. To be honest, I haven't finished God of War, so like I kind of wanted to do that first before I got into Ragnarok, but it was cool to see that there was free DLC. Final Fantasy 16 also got some DLC, which it was weird because for those of you who've played Final Fantasy 16 all the way to the end, there's certain things that happen that make you wonder why is there DLC? It's a pretty complete story, and so right before the end of the trailer, they say all the DLC happens before the final fight, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. And so that was cool to see some of that. I think that what I was most excited for, to be honest, was the Dragon Ball Z fighting game. I'm not a fighting game guy, but I've recently been getting into Dragon Ball Z, the manga, and I have been enjoying every panel. And so my heart is ready to play some Dragon Ball Z games. I played a ton when I was younger of Budokai on the PlayStation 2. I can't find Budokai anywhere. And so that's a freaking delicious cup of coffee. Gosh dang it. That Peru is popping, dude. Yo. Give me some of that Peruvian coffee. Ooh. Delicious. Oh, man, that's good stuff. So I was excited for Dragon Ball Z. I think it is Hellsong, come to think of it. Whatever. But I noticed something. And this is something that I don't know if it's always been this way, but we were seeing a lot of game announcements for games coming out. Steam was obviously on a lot of the tickets because Steam is like one of the big things. Fortnite, was peeped a couple times because Fortnite's doing a bunch of stuff. Today, actually, Fortnite dropped the racing game, which looks pretty fun. And so Epic and stuff was there too. But I didn't see a lot of Nintendo Switch. So like a lot of the games that were set to release were on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam. Nintendo wasn't represented. And I don't know if that's usually the case. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, is that because there is new hardware that is in the mix? And so these games that are set to release this upcoming year, which, by the way, March is like the month where most of these games were said to come out. The first quarter of next year is where a lot of these games were said to come out, which is kind of crazy. But when it comes to like what's happening with Nintendo, it was very interesting because I was like, dude, there's so many games. There's so many games coming out, but Nintendo doesn't. I think there was one, maybe two games where it had the Switch logo, and I was like, I think something is in the mix, right? And there's gonna be someone that's taken that further than it needs to go. But it's like, yeah, this looks like Nintendo has some hardware that might be coming out, and so that was an interesting realization. Of course, and as I said, there was no announcement. There was nothing. There was very little representation. Our boy Doug Bowser, though, he did accept the award for was it the Todd K one, or was it? I think it was the Tears of the Kingdom one. No, it wasn't Tears of the Kingdom. It was Super Mario Wonder. Tears of the Kingdom was by the developers, I believe. Yeah, because I think that it was. Yeah, it was. The director or something. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who it was, but that's what it was. There was an insane announcement from, gosh, I don't want to mess up the name. So let me look it up. This is supposed to be really, Kojima. I knew it was Kojima, but I was like, oh, please don't tell me it was something else, and I don't want to be, mess up that name. There was a huge announcement by Kojima They brought out Jordan Peele, who's going to be a part of the what they call Kojima-verse. I have yet to play one of the modern-day Kojima games. I played Metal Gear Solid back in the day, but I've yet to play one of the modern-day Kojima games like Death Stranding, or, I guess that is one of the big ones right now. And I want to play it because I think that interesting stories are something that my heart really desires right now as far as a gamer. Mindlessness, not so much. That's why GTA 6, I'm going to say officially, is not interesting at all to me. It's probably to be expected from me with a shirt that says GTA sucks that I do have for sale, but this cup of coffee is probably one of the best I've brewed for this Peru. This is an incredible Peru. Gosh dang it, dude. Sorry, I'm distracted by this Peru. Kojima came out, and there's a game called OD. Very, very little understanding of what's going on there. Allegedly, it's an experience more than anything else. It doesn't seem like it's a game traditionally as much as it is an interactive experience. And very scary, very mind-bending, allegedly, a lot of stuff there. So I thought, cool. We're pushing the boundary. Leave it to Kojima to do that. The stage presentation of that was interesting. They had the whole thing, the whole trailer for it. And then you saw this door open, like in the eyes, in the reflection of the eyes of the person talking in the trailer. And she like freaked out. And then after that, you're just like, what's going on? And then the door was on stage. And of course, Kojima came out. So that was kind of cool. There were a few stage presentations that were interesting. And then they had, of course, the very, very popular, there's always actors. It's weird to see actors at these things because, I don't know if you feel this way too, but like these things are ours, right? We're gamers. All right. I'll say it. I'm a gamer. We're people who love this world. This world is its own planet. Like it is completely independent. There's like groups within them. There's inside jokes. There's everything, dude. And it's weird to see people who would not be otherwise expected. Like it's weird to see Matthew McConaughey on stage. But you weren't expecting that. He voiced a character in a game that was like Starfield, not really Starfield. Well, kind of. Interstellar, though. Interstellar meets Returnal meets Starfield. Like, it was wild. It looked really good. That game I'm really interested in. The story seems very, very heart-wrenching and compelling, and that's something, again, that I'm really into. I'm into stories that are extremely heavy, and there's depth to them. Not to say that I don't like my lighter stories like Super Mario Wonder or Super Mario RPG, which I've just finished, and there will be a review of that experience coming in the upcoming couple of weeks. But I will say that like some of these more intense stories is what I yearn for on my higher performance machines. I want to have an immersive story on my PlayStation 5. I want to really dive deeper into something that is more compelling on my Steam Deck or Xbox. Like that is what I'm looking at when it comes to, or looking for rather, when it comes to these gaming experiences. And so that was one that really stood out to me. I thought this was interesting. And then the other actor that came out presented Game of the Year. It was Timothée Chalamet. I don't know why. Like, I guess he is going to be doing stuff, maybe. Like, he looks like Lies of P, dude. He looks like Pinocchio, okay? Like, can we just call it as we sees it? He looks like Lies of P. He should make a Lies of P movie. There you go, Tim. There you go, Timmy boy. Make a Lies of P movie. But that was super weird to see someone like Timothée Chalamet up on stage, who is otherwise a very, very, he's a very successful actor. Sure, the Dune movies, was great. He's not my favorite, right? I much prefer Matthew McConaughey. His book is great. Really loved his book. But it's weird to see these people up on stage. Now, Jordan Peele, on the other hand, not weird at all. he feels like he's part of this. He feels like someone, or he was talking about playing Metal Gear Solid 2. He feels like someone who did indeed play a ton of that. Oh, there was this other game. I forgot the name, but this dude came out. It was made. He like was presenting it. He's like, this is a story. This is a story for my father. It was so cool. It was like Ori, Will of the Wisps, met with like some Metroidvania style dungeon crawling kind of thing. It was with like a side-scrolling Kena. It was so unbelievably sick, and I forgot the name. I looked it all up here. Tales of Kenzera. Right, I hope I'm saying that right. It looks incredible, and it's not Hellsong. I'm an idiot. It's Hellblade. Now I have everything right here. There's another crazy looking like Souls-like game called Black Myth Wukong. That looks crazy as well. I'm not putting any game footage, guys, because this is supposed to be casual conversation. All right, there's no game footage. If you want to look up some of these games, I recommend looking up. I'm on IGN right now, and they just have a list of games with all the trailers just sitting here. That's going to be the best for you. There's a new Mana game, Visions of Mana, which seems fun enough, right? It's another one that spoke to me. And then a survival game, Jurassic Park Survival. The trailer was like a clip from the movie, and I was like, dude, you learned nothing. And I had a good time making fun of that. There were a few moments in stream that I was pretty proud of. There was this one dude. He was a beast of a character. A giant man sitting in the audience. Huge. Enormous. And they kept panning to him. And I was like, okay, this guy's huge. And every 30 minutes he was on camera, and he was just a dude in the audience. And I was definitely making fun of him a little. Not making fun of him. That's not true. I was definitely commenting on him. I actually didn't make fun of him. I was impressed by his size. He was a massive guy, right? Just width, right? I'm not saying he's like a big. I'm not making fun of him that way. He's just took up space. And I was like, this guy's huge. And then I forgot the name of the actor, because this actor is not one that I particularly am like a fan of. There's nothing wrong with him. I just like, whatever, he's kind of is what it is. The guy who played Falcon, he's also in Twisted Metal. They said Twisted Metal is getting a second one. He was on stage, and he enjoyed the microphone a little bit, which is kind of fun to see. Oh, it opened up with the guy who was the voice for Kratos. Forgot his name. And he made a funny joke. He was talking about his speech being super long, which we loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. But when he was giving his speech, they played the music the second he showed up on stage, which I thought was hysterical. But then he said, hey, try to beat my speech. It was 8 minutes long, but hey, it was at least longer than the Call of Duty campaign. That was the best. That right there was the quintessential embodiment of what this gaming community is about. It's about taking shots at each other, inside jokes, having fun, laughing, being like that. I thought it was light and dark at the same time. It was light because it was funny and he was laughing and he's like, I guess I'm not working for that company. And it was dark because it was commenting and being negative towards something that was a little bit disappointing. I thought that was great. They had Gonzo up there too that made some jokes, and I thought that bit was great too. And it was, as I talk about it more, like it was something that I enjoyed. Now I'm looking through here at some of these different releases, and I think this is the last one that really, I'm just trying to skip through here. Yeah, this is the last one that really spoke to me, which was, I believe it's called The Last, or not Last, it's called Ronin, Ronin something, Rise of the Ronin. That game looks so cool. It's like Ghost of Tsushima meets Souls-like, right, kind of thing. Incredible game. And I really, really did, I did enjoy some of the trailer of that, or most of it, to be honest. And so 2023, I think, goes down in history as the greatest video game year of all time. It's a shame that I spent a majority of this year in the desert. It's a shame that I spent a majority of this year completely lost in my creativity, lost in my head, lost in mind jail, and not knowing where I was to take this space, where I was to take this very community that has grown because of their excitement around video games and their excitement of sharing these experiences with each other. But I will say that after spending the past 30-ish days making cups of coffee talking about video games, after last night's stream, after some of the streams on Twitch, which that is where the video game playing does exist, is Twitch, and then commentary and stuff like that will be over on YouTube when it goes live. So there is going to be a combination of both. Feel free, however you want to watch, however you want to view. I think I might try to figure out co-streaming a little bit, but all gameplay and gaming type of streams will be on Twitch, because I believe that is a great space for that kind of community to be, grown. And that's kind of like the secret backdoor community. Like, hey, come on in. This is kind of like the speakeasy area. We know about it. We know how to get in. There's no paywall. There's nothing there. But do you know about the Twitch side? Come and join us over there. And so I finally feel like after a year of gaming that I have been released from my mind jail I was in. And as, I enter into this next year of gaming, because my mental year, my physical year has restarted as of Thanksgiving, as it always does. I've made changes, to my habits. I've made changes to a lot of things in my life. The official gaming year starts today, right? With, I guess, the three new games, the three new experiences that exist is Final Fantasy 16 DLC, as well as Ragnarok DLC, and finally 1080, Jet Force Gemini, and Harvest Moon 64. Dude, you know what? Maybe tonight, I'm going to have to confirm this with my wife, but maybe tonight we play Jet Force Gemini over on Twitch. Now that sounds like a freaking good time, doesn't it? That does sound like a good time. I like that. Maybe that's the next play for a little bit. At any rate, that's where I'm at with this experience. It's got me amped up more than ever before, and I'm not gonna announce anything at all. I will say this: what to expect as far as this community is that we are on a steam engine moving forward. All aboard, dude. We're having fun. This is the proverbial Hogwarts Express, or you can Spirit Tracks, or however you want to hop into it. And we are moving, or pirate ship, whatever you want to do. We are a vessel of gamers who are dedicated to enjoying the craft. And I know that I, most of all, am re-energized, reinvigorated, and excited, truly excited for whatever that's going to look like. I'm hoping that looks like participation. That looks like sharing those stories with you guys. And, reviews, sure, whatever it may be. Just sharing the experience of video games. Because at the end of the day, that's really all that matters to me, is that experience of playing. That's why my brand is play. That's why that's what it's all about, playing the game. How we interact with it with the hardware is one thing, right? Those kind of conversations are always exciting to talk about. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you use an NES controller to play Super Mario Brothers on the NES emulator on the Switch, or Super Mario World with the Super Nintendo, right? The experience either way is going to be fun. This may enhance or decrease the experience depending on how you look at it, but at any rate, that is the experience nonetheless. And so it really all comes down to playing video games. And so how that looks, how is that presented, I'm not sure, right? We don't know. That's just the way it is. This is how it always goes down. We're always discovering, or I'm always discovering. I'm trying, I will say, as you guys have probably noticed, to kind of leave the traditional vernacular of this, kind of space, this medium behind. The like and subscribe, the thing like that, and incorporate more of a let's do this together kind of feel, and come and hang out in this very, office, this den, this however you want to call it. I'm going to say for the rest of my day, or whatever you want to say, or however I'm going to say it. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but I'm going to say it at this point. I'm almost done with my coffee. I'm going to say there's probably a farewell from Grizz the Bear Rug, Henry the Tree, Larry the Lamp, Thomas the Television, myself. wish you a great rest of your day. And as always, that was it. Happy gaming.